Joining us now to talk about this video being shared with Fox is Associate Professor of Government Bateman from Cornell University. Professor, Democratic Majority Leader Chuck Schumer accused McCarthy of giving this video to Fox News as part of a deal he made to become House Speaker. What do you make of that, and do you think it was appropriate?
I think that it's very likely that McCarthy has been under a lot of pressure to come up with a counter-reality to the facts that were sort of demonstrated and the narrative established by the January 6th committee. He, however, was also under a lot of pressure from his members, his more moderate members, those who were from more marginal districts, swing districts, to not go down that road. And I think ultimately he chose the way out that was easiest. He outsourced this, and he gave it over to Fox News. Now, I think that there's nothing wrong with sort of sharing the information, providing this, the documents to, or the film to media organizations, but they knew exactly who they were sharing it with. They were sharing it with somebody whose own employers do not think is a credible source of news. They made that choice, and they knew exactly what they were going to get from it. But it was because McCarthy was in a bind. He had to do something to create an alternative narrative, but he didn't want to be the one, his Congress, his House, to be doing that work himself.
McCarthy stands by his decision to share the video, saying he did it to be transparent with the public. Do you think the move adds fuel to the fire for the people who were already in agreement with the riot on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, I think that this is very much intended to consolidate an alternative narrative to what happened. I think it doesn't really help the Republican Party. I think it helped McCarthy a little bit because it allowed him to not have to do that work. But he was under pressure to do that work. Had he really wanted to be transparent, he could have given it to multiple news organizations. He could have given it to credible figures, even in Fox. He could have given it to them. Instead, he chose it to give somebody who, even within Fox, is not understood as a very credible organization or a credible person. And that's within an already an organization that's already seen being very aligned with the conservative movement.
What's in it for McCarthy? Why would he share this video?
I think that really is ultimately about helping make sure that the attention amongst Republicans is distracted elsewhere. They do not want to be thinking about this as an issue that really is going to hurt the party. They don't want that division. McCarthy was in a bind because McCarthy, on the one hand, is under a lot of pressure to do that work, to show that there was something else happening, to sort of redeem the party and to redeem the conservative movement that was involved in that. On the other hand, a lot of marginal Republicans just want to talk about anything other than that because they realize that that doesn't help them, and it only hurts them in elections. I think McCarthy would like to not have been forced to make that choice, but ultimately that was the position he was in because of these two conflicting demands on his attention and demands on his time.
Is it surprising to you that both Democrats and Republicans are speaking out against Fox News and Tucker Carlson for this?
I'm not very surprised about that. It's obvious why Democrats are speaking out about it. But you'll notice that a lot of the Republicans who are speaking out about it are coming from the Senate. And senators just represent much more diverse, much larger constituencies. And even relatively safe Republicans in the Senate recognize that they have to win some Democratic votes, or that they can't totally oppose, or they can't lose sort of all moderates and all independents within their states. House districts are much smaller. They're much more homogenous. You can win in a lot of House districts just with Republican votes alone. And so I think it's no surprise that it's senators who are opposing McCarthy.
Thanks so much for joining us, Professor.
My pleasure. Thank you.